What's up, everybody? It's Jacob coming to you from an. Oh, hold on here. I got a audio issue that I've been struggling with. Be right back. Okay, let's try that again. All right, I think. Nope, still have it. One moment. I apologize. I think my mixing deck's rebooted. Now I'm getting an echo. So just stick with me here. I'll be right back. Okay, let's try that one more time. Just getting a really hellacious echo here. Yeah, for whatever reason, I'm getting feedback from my computer. So it's going to be interesting tonight because I have mix minus turned on. So, that is interesting. Anyway, welcome everybody. Thanks for coming out tonight. We have some interesting videos that I want to show you tonight. Hopefully I can get through it without all the echo driving me nutso. We'll see how it goes. I'm just curious for those of you that are here in the chat, if you can hear or you were hearing an echo while I was trying to fix the issue. Probably so, because if I can hear it, you're probably hearing it. So let me try this again. Okay. I know, I think I have a workaround, but anyway, I'm sorry. It's been a wild week. I just got a new job about 2.5 weeks into that. So I'm still trying to get used to the schedule. And if you're here, Batty, I did get your email. I know you want me to come onto your stream and we'll do that. It's just, I'm still getting used to my schedule and had a hard drive crash. And now this is acting weird and just been all kinds of weird technical gremlins going on. But you know what? It's actually kind of an important date for me because today is just one day after the 1-year anniversary on my channel. When I first started at October 17th last year, when I was doing mostly like red pill stuff, a little bit of AI, but I kind of got away from that. I just didn't really see much of a need to keep talking about it. Because frankly, I thought, you know what, everything that I could say on it has been said. I didn't feel like I was really adding to the conversation much. And so I thought, there's other existential threats out there. And that's kind of how I landed on AI, why this is more of an AI channel and why I like to talk more about the things around that. So let's see if I can get a video going here without the echo. This has just been kind of a weird night. I might just go ahead and stop the stream at some point and reboot if I have to, but let's see if we can work around this. Okay, so when I first started the channel, I made more elaborate like little mini documentaries, and one of the first videos I made was one on how AI has a problem with making fingers. And if you notice, if you use AI to generate images, it's really actually pretty good, which kind of brings me to tonight's thumbnail. Welcome to AI Dead, by the way, which is a play off the Evil Dead movie poster. But I mean, you can see like the fingers on the woman being pulled into the ground, pretty accurate. And also the fingers of the zombie robot coming out of the ground, pulling her in, all 5 fingers, no weird fingers. So that's pretty cool. But Yeah, so I made this documentary called Dear AI, What's with the Freaky Fingers? So I thought maybe just as a little celebration, we could watch that and kind of see what young Jacob was like when he was first starting his channel, and kind of the direction I was wanting to go. It's Halloween themed too, ironically. So I thought it'd be perfect to play this. So let's go ahead and crank this up. Hopefully I can get around this echo here. Let's give it a roll. I'm gonna mute my mic so I won't talk, but here we go. What's up, everybody? Yeah, I'm sorry. This is really bad. The echo is so bad. I'm going to have to reboot y'all and come back on to the live stream. I apologize. This is a weird, freaky thing. It's a gremlin in the system I've never experienced before. But hey, Boom Fishing. Hey, Chris Klein. Thanks for coming out. Just bear with me here. I'm going to reset my system and I'll be back in about 3 minutes. Okay, cool. Thanks for watching, everybody. Okay, I'm back. You know what? I think all I had to do was reset my mixer. Oh, nope, that wasn't it. Oh man, that delay's terrible. All right. I'm so sorry, everybody. I am coming across like an amateur here. All right, so I'm gonna reboot for reals now. 3 minutes. Thank you. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate your patience. I think I licked it. I'm just gonna do a quick test, make sure we're good to go. Um, yeah, this is technology. I got too many things going on here, but I appreciate you so much, everybody, sticking with me. Um, this is a very special day for me, and of course, a whole year of absolutely zero gremlins. And then this very special day for me here. Let me just adjust the focus on the camera here. Um, you know, I get the glitch. I guess that's how it goes. All right, so I gotta so uh you should, oh, I should probably do okay that.
Seriologist.
Okay, so you can hear that. There was no echo, right?
Seriologist.
Which, by the way, that is a thing we're going to do tonight. I'll explain to you what that word is. All right, I think we're good. So here we go. Without further ado, what is up with the freaky fingers, AI? Here we go. My Halloween themed documentary. Thanks for watching, everybody. What's up, everybody? It's JD, your guide to exploring how past technology shapes our present and where AI is taking us next. AI has been around for decades, but recent innovations have made it possible to actually chat with a specific type called generative AI. Now, with just a sentence or two, we can ask it to create an image of almost anything we can dream up. This kind of request is known as a text-to-image prompt. By now, you've probably seen some incredible images created by AI, but if you've tried using one of these generative AI tools, you might have noticed how tricky it can be to get images without some anatomical quirks. Take a look at that, huh? I'd say that's anatomical quirks. All right, let's continue on. Fair use on my own video, YouTube. Especially when it comes to human hands. Generative AI is undoubtedly a powerful tool that enhances human creativity, and I've definitely had my share of frustrating experiences with these quirks, which are often referred to in the AI world as hallucinations, or maybe a better way to describe it would be an educated guess. It's been a big problem in generative AI for a while now, and I'm wondering at this point, are the freaky fingers a feature, a bug, or is something more sinister going on? Let's do a quick experiment to find out what's really happening. I asked one of my favorite Gen AI tools, Leonardo, to generate a lone woman sitting in a truck during the Great Depression. Well, that looks pretty good. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Or how about a gleaming sci-fi cityscape under a blue sky? Well, that looks pretty awesome. Let's try some more surreal prompts, like a post-apocalyptic motorcycle gang of dogs. Cute Star Wars pets. How about a raspberry alien life form? That was a dragon versus World War II soldiers. All good. You'll agree that AI is pretty decent at generating realistic images, right? But what happens when we create something with the human hand in view? I asked the AI to then pull back and do a full torso rendering of the Great Depression lady from earlier. Now watch this. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're starting to see some interesting anomalies. How about an attractive woman holding up a 1990s cell phone? If you're old enough to remember, those things were absolute bricks. Let's see how the AI handles that one. Oh, whoops. The AI actually confused one of her fingers for an antenna. That's hilarious. Let's try one more. How about a baker kneading dough on a stainless steel table in the kitchen? Oh man, I can't spell. I put in banker, and I guess we got a young Dick Cheney hoarding all the dough. But I mean, even with additional renderings, the greedy banker still has his mutant hands all over the dough. Wow. But seriously, what's going on here? After a bit of research, I discovered two main reasons why AI struggles with creating realistic hands. First, there's just a lack of detailed hand-focused photos to teach or train AI what hands truly look like. And number two, the flexibility of the human hand, being able to grip, point, wave, bend at different angles, adds complexity, making it much harder for AI to replicate them accurately. The first reason comes from the quality of AI images is learning from. Generative AI is trained on images by looking at a huge collection of pictures and breaking them down into tiny pieces called pixels. As it analyzes these images, it learns to recognize different shapes, colors, and patterns. Along with this, the AI also uses tags or text descriptions that explain what's in the images. Think of it like a child learning to draw by observing real-life objects and getting guidance on what each object is. Over time, the AI gets better at creating new images that resemble what it has seen. The more images and descriptions it processes, the more skilled it becomes at generating its own unique artwork based on what it has learned. So, hands aren't usually the main focus in images with human subjects, and there aren't enough photos of hands with meaningful text descriptions to train AI on the finer details of hands. These descriptions don't go beyond saying anything more than holding, pointing, and gripping. This brings us to the second issue. Hands are complex and much less predictable than faces. While faces generally have similar structures, like the eyes, nose, and mouth in fixed locations, hands can show different numbers of fingers depending on what angle and positioning. And AI hasn't learned the fundamental rules about hands, like that they only have 5 fingers, right-handed versus left-handed, so as a result, it creates hand-like structures with just enough skin texture and tone into what it thinks is a human hand. On top of that, human standards for hands are very high. Our minds immediately notice when something's off. A close enough approach works fine for things like hair or freckles, and if an AI model misses the mark on how many freckles are on someone's face, we usually don't mind. But with hands, that same level of imprecision feels unsettling. A great example of this is the 5 freckles experiment. To recreate, I prompted the AI to generate an image of a boy with exactly 5 freckles. It's very likely the AI has never seen a face with just 5 freckles, so it just guesses and produces a sun-kissed face with varied freckling across 4 images that it produced, which still feels natural to us. But if a finger appears at an odd angle when the AI guesses, it would have the opposite effect. AI, guess you could say fingers are bigger than freckles. But all right, here we go. Hand challenge isn't unique to just hands. It extends to other areas with distinct patterns, like teeth and abs. Without internalizing rules like hands have 5 fingers, AI can end up generating horses with 6 legs, or bodybuilders with extra abs. And so, the uncanny valley effect kicks in, the territory in the human psyche where something is too real to be fake and too fake to be real. A cognitive dissonance is triggered, and because both cannot be true at the same time, our bias kicks in. Despite these issues, AI models are improving through more diverse image sets and human feedback, allowing them to get closer to meeting human standards or innate bias towards perfect hands. While the journey to lifelike hands is ongoing, advancements in AI art are happening rapidly. However, not everyone is eager to fix this issue because the uncanny valley effect often helps us tell AI images apart from human-made art. So perhaps freaky fingers are more of a feature than a bug. If you want to see more of this kind of content, show the algorithm, like, subscribe. What do you think? Should those freaky fingers stay as they are, or should we aim for picture-perfect hands? Or maybe there's another way to keep AI-generated content distinguishable from human-made art. Comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Give my creation life!
So there you go. That's one of my very early videos, and whoops, it's playing something else. Hold on. I'm just having all kinds of gremlins tonight. All right, we'll get through this. Happy anniversary. All right. But yeah, it's interesting because the human hands thing was like a really big deal when I first started getting into image generation, and you just get all kinds of weird, wacky stuff. And it was not hard to get those monster, let's see here. Where was that? Oh, I guess I'll have to go back here. Hold on. These monster images, it was not hard to trick the AI to do this, to get it to make all kinds of weird, like freaked out fingers. Of course, you can see a theme there. It was Halloween. I had all the monsters, and like even Frankenstein, what does he got there? He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, call it 7 fingers. Plus he's like, his angle's all weird. I didn't tell the AI to do that. All I did was, the trick is I told it, render Frankenstein holding a pear up close, zoom into his face. And that was all it took. It's just kind of a weird thing. And then of course we got Freddy Krueger with I don't know what you want to call that, hang blades or hang nails or something. But yeah, that was a fun video to make. I really enjoyed making that. But unfortunately, when I first started, that was that was probably about 2 weeks of work. I just did not have the skills that I have today, but still that would take me like a couple days, maybe 3 days of editing and production. I just don't have the time to do that these days. But yeah, that was that was kind of what I envisioned doing on the channel in the early days. But unfortunately, yeah, it just didn't really take off as well as I had thought. And then about 2.5 months later, what was that? I made a video on, I think it was on gray divorce. Like I still, cause a buddy of mine was going through divorce, and I was talking about like all the things that, you know, older people don't expect when the gray divorce happens. And, yeah, today that video constantly gets like 50, 60 videos, a day, just to this day. So I just don't take it down. But that one like got me up to like 1,500 subscribers, like in 2 days. And, but yeah, it's just don't want to talk about that stuff no more. I want to talk about the other existential threat, of AI. But don't get me wrong. You know, I love AI. I use it every day, but I have my concerns, you know, and that's what I talk about on this channel if you're new here, which brings me to a few housekeeping things that I wasn't able to do because I got all wigged out over the echo in my ear. I don't know if you guys could hear it, but it was like literally a 3-second delay. So it was so bad. I couldn't deal with it. So I had to restart my whole computer, but we're good now. Also too, real quick, one of, my regular viewers, Lily, she sent in crop circles. She wanted me to see if AI could do investigative work to figure out if the crop circles were real or not. She thinks they're real, but I'm more skeptical. I think that it's people that are making geometric patterns with wood planks and things. But you know, let's see what AI can do. Which is I didn't know this until just a moment ago, but this is the term. This is actually the official term for somebody who researches crop circles. Due to the first half of the word, I can't say it out loud because it'll make my house talk to me, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to have this pronunciation channel say the word for you. So here we go. Is it muted? What's happening?
Seriologist.
There we go. One more time.
Seriologist.
Right? So it's not the study of Apple Home. This is the study of crop circles. So tonight I'm going to have ChatGPT step into the role, so to speak, of a you-know-whatologist, which is someone who, let's see, what's the official definition? Someone who investigates the origin, structure, and authenticity of crop circles. So we'll do that a little later because I haven't been playing with AI live on the channel for quite some time. So I thought I'd kind of bring that back in. Yeah, Batty, that's an interesting question. It does tend to be in the on the aisles, is my understanding, or at least that's every time I see it. A lot of people think it's because of the ley lines between all the henges and things like that. But there's henges in other parts of the world. So kind of lends more to my idea that I think that they're a hoax. But we'll see what AI says later on tonight. Also, I'm going to delve a little more. Last week we did robots and how I'm showing how they go into the trades. And some other things that I thought that they were going to start to get into, home health, house chores. And last week's video, I talked about, if you haven't seen it, let me see here. Where is that? Forgot what I called it. My old man cheese brain working full-time or part, feels like a full-time job, but it's part-time. It's a lot of engineering speak all day long. It's very intense. But anyway, it's this one here, Figure AI's robot, Figure 3, which is owned by OpenAI, which is also the creator of ChatGPT. So this is their entry into the physical AI race against Tesla, which I think is Atlas, I think is their deal. And of course, China, not to be outdone, China they're nipping on the heels of all these companies. So I'm going to show, it's actually a really great video that actually shows you how they train the robots, right? Because I've talked here and there about how they would train something like ChatGPT, and I've talked about how you would train robots to see things, right? But how do you teach it to move in the physical world? How do you teach it to, not, grip this cup so hard that it explodes, stuff like that. So I have a little video here from a company in China that shows people training the robots. And then from there, that's the foundation they go on. And then when they go in the real world, they learn more through reinforcement learning. So I'll show that. It's actually really important to understand that. And then I'll get into some other concerns that I have around when you buy one of these things or you're interacting with one of these things. I'm going to point out some things that I think that you should always challenge. If you decide to buy one of these things, you should always challenge the companies on these. And real quick too, one thing that I did talk about was in last week's video that Figure AI is claiming that their robot is only going to be $20,000. And I'll get into some concerns as to why it's cheaper than I think it would be, which leads to some other concerns that I have. But in last week's video, I talked about how, the math still kind of works out to where, like, if you're the average $37,000 a year employee, even if these robots can work to 80%, maybe even 70% of the capacity of a human's, kind of capability to problem solve, that might be good enough, just like some AI images are they're just good enough, right? And companies will use those in lieu of graphic designers. The ChatGPT doing writing, although it's pretty damn good now, but it's good enough to do the editing and writing where one person can basically run a whole freaking newspaper. So, the math is mathing on physical AI is all I'm saying. So we're getting to that point where the robots could be a threat to trades and other jobs where there's manipulation of the physical environment. Whereas ChatGPT was more of like white collar jobs, knowledge jobs, moving pixels, words, and even generating images to a degree now, and video too. So I've got another video we're gonna pull up here. Pardon me, coffee's kicking in. With Hollywood, Hollywood's dying on the vine. So there's a lot of things that are happening. A lot of things are changing so fast, and just the fact that this Freaky Fingers video was a year ago, and there's been two iterations, two big improvements. One almost like a paradigm shift with ChatGPT and the competitors too, to where no one talks about that anymore. No one says, "Oh yeah, the fake fingers." I remember we used to joke. My mentor, my AI mentor, was teaching me AI design. I'd always say, hey, show me your fingers. Are you a real person? And he would go like this. So just for those of you that think, old Jacob's an AI, count them. There's 10, unless there's a blur or something. All right. But let's go in the chat tonight and see who showed up. I still have a couple of glitches here. Everything's appearing twice in my chat, but let's see here. We've got Chris Klein. Thanks for coming back after the reboot. I appreciate that, Chris. And we got Batty Commander. I was teasing him earlier about a post where he put up where do you need a hero? And I said, yes, I need a euro. And now I'm hungry. So he was ribbing me on that. And I see what you were saying here, Chris, about AI and ASMR. I haven't heard about that phenomenon. I might have to check that out. That might be my new guilty pleasure. I don't know. There was a couple weeks ago where AI started pulling me into the earwax rabbit hole, where it was like showing me what do they call those audiologists? They pick the wax out of your ear. It's like, watch that for a half an hour, and it's strangely satisfying. Not as gross as you would think, but anyway, maybe I'm just an odd duck. I wouldn't deny that. Yes, and thank you, oh 07. I appreciate that. Let's get the likes up, everybody. We got to tell the algorithm, I'm not a fear monger. I try not to, push the fear angle on AI too much. I try to be more realistic. A lot of people kind of want to hate on AI or they love it too much. And I try to just be more realistic and just sort of say, hey, this is a concern that I have. This is a problem that's going to happen. And so I just try to be more down to earth. I'm not really, I just don't want to do the clickbait stuff, and probably why my channel doesn't grow as much as it probably could, but I'm just not interested in doing that. All right. Let's see here. I thought I saw somebody else. Oh, hey, Lily, thanks for coming out tonight. I appreciate it. I don't know if you got my announcement earlier. Oh, you did. Why would aliens want to visit France? Of course they come here. There's that old rivalry between the Brits and the French. I love it. You used to be French, right? So I'm just saying. Took a war to get that settled, right? All right. Yes, thanks, Chris. I appreciate you coming out. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Let's see here. I guess that's everybody. We got our regulars. So we'll save the crop circle research for later, because I want to bring in more ChatGPT interaction like I was doing earlier in my live streams, but it kind of just got a little repetitive, and the AI debates got a little repetitive, so I kind of just backed off on it a little bit just so it wouldn't get so stale. So we'll bring some of that stuff back, but without further ado, let's see. Let's go to our next video. So Freaky Fingers. All right. So let's look at this news report on, there's this new, AI actress. It's a couple weeks old, but, I don't know if you heard about it, but I want to kind of put my, my little, zhuzh on it, my opinion on what's happening here. So let's watch, this AI actress. I think her name is Tilly Norwood. Here we go. Fair use, YouTube. I am transforming this work with my commentary and maybe comedy. I don't know. Am I funny? Let's go. Let's try it.
This morning, Hollywood actors are speaking out, responding to reports that multiple talent agencies are interested in signing an AI actress.
I'm built on everything that came before me.
Tilly Norwood
that's
might
her.
seem like any other aspiring actress. She has an Instagram page showing off her screen tests alongside candid moments.
Tilly Norwood, 100% AI generated.
All right, so let's just take a quick look here. Just looks like kind of just a regular 20-something gal. But, I think what's going to happen here, well, they were talking about how there's already agencies lining up to sign her. I think that's more for commercials. I don't know how well this will go over in movies yet. Just kind of based on the length and the capability of AI to generate video, because it has a tendency to still change the character a little bit. I mean, like, you'll even notice as I play through this, you'll see Tilly change a little here and there. But here's what I think is going to happen. I've used this analogy before, and it's not mine. It's actually what's her name? The actress in Family Ties, the older sister. Oh gosh, now I feel so bad I can't remember her name. But anyway, she came up with this analogy. She described AI as a blender, right? So you put in all these images of all these people and it gets all cut up. And then AI goes, okay, here's a nose, here's an eye, here's a mouth, here's some teeth. Let's put it together. I think we're going to have lawsuits where people are going to come in and say, hey, that's my nose. You can't use my likeness. So I think that's what's going to, yes, Justine Bateman. Thanks, Night Owl. I appreciate it. My Swiss cheese brain's kicking in tonight. So I appreciate that. Yeah, Justine Bateman, which by the way, has a film festival in LA where she will not allow any films in that use any AI in any way, shape, or form. Not because she's anti-AI, she just wants to preserve the full craft from A to Z of movie making, which I think is cool because, like I said before, with AI, this Tilly Norwood, it's good enough, right? Some people probably wouldn't care. And just like we had, the big debate when CDs came out, and there was like, oh, it's records are warmer, it's more saturated, it has better sound, and people's like, I'm gonna just go and collect records and buy records. I think we're gonna have people go to movies that are specifically made just by humans because that's the analog way, the cool way, the original way that it's done. And there's gonna be people that'll they won't care. It's like, oh, that's a story on the screen, I'll just watch that. That's how it's gonna fall out, if you ask me. All right, so let's continue on here with Ms. Norwood here. Let's see what else they say.
Even posted this video on Facebook, which she says features her first on-camera role.
Let's get to know each other, and thanks for watching.
But Tilly Norwood is not a real actress. She's a character generated by artificial intelligence. Her creator says
see right
she's
there,
getting
already
very
she's
real
changing.
attention.
So like even her face and everything just kind of changes a little bit, and that was a really huge problem with AI characters. A character consistency was a really huge problem, but it's getting better and better and better. We'll get there someday, but it's good enough. All right. Sorry about that. I get excited. All right, let's get back to this. YouTube, fair use.
Elaine Vandervelden runs the AI talent company that made Tilly. She says, when we first launched Tilly, people were like, what's that? And now we're going to be announcing which agency is going to be representing her. But that announcement, not sitting well with many Hollywood stars. Emily Blunt saying, this is really, really scary. Come on, agencies, don't do that.
Yeah.
Marvel star Simu Liu saying, movies are great, but what would be better is if the characters in them weren't played by actual humans, but by AI replicas approximating human emotion.
You are suddenly
my favorite.
up against something that's been generated with 5,000 other actors. Mm-hmm. It's been given all of these, it's got Betty Davis's attitude, it's got this one's, it's got Humphrey Bogart's lip. So
yeah, so thing is like, I don't know what Whoopi's worth, but what is like it's in the tens of millions probably. Yeah, you got yours. You're good. You're set, Whoopi. So it's the up and comers. Yeah. So I mean, even voice acting's gonna go away to a degree, I think. But all those actors they were showing, Emily Blunt and Simu Lee, they've all been in movies where they're heavily using CGI, which it's not AI, but they would still do a lot of computer generated images to get their likeness to do something. So, this is just the next step forward. All right, let's continue on here. Enough blabbing. I squirreled, sorry.
it's a little bit of an unfair advantage.
Vandervelden insists Tilly is not a replacement for a human being, but a creative work, a piece of art. AI characters should be judged as part of their own genre, on their own merits, rather than compared directly with human actors.
So what do you think of that, chat? Do you think that's a valid argument? Do you think that's what's really going to happen? Hollywood is a business after all. They have to make a profit. And the way things have been going the last several years, they're not making money. I've come to the conclusion that Hollywood is just basically a big money laundering scheme because there's no business. No sane business would be running the way that they've been running at a loss. There's no way. They're washing money, bro. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. But yeah, I don't know about this. I don't think I necessarily agree with this. This might be her intent, but like any tool, somebody will use it for a totally different intent. But let's continue onward.
But just a few months ago, Vandervelden said she wanted Tilly to be the next Natalie Portman or Scarlett Johansson. Vandervelden believes audiences just care about the story, not whether the star has a pulse, and claims studios are quietly moving forward with AI projects and to even expect more announcements in the coming months. Just the beginning.
Yes. Yep, that's true. But yeah, she said it in a different way. AI is just good enough in many cases. It fits the bill enough to do a commercial, maybe not a feature-length film right now, but give it a few months, right? Just look at how far a ChatGPT's gone, just generating images with the better fingers is kind of my point. Why I started with that. And it's been like that since the fingers issue went away, like I would say March of this year, easily. So yeah, it's been a little bit. Yeah, there you go, Batty. That's a great movie, by the way, for you younger viewers. Looker, with Albert Finney and Susan Day from Partridge Family fame. A really great sci-fi movie. It's not like super sci-fi in the sense of like there's spaceships and lasers, but it's more about technology and mind control and imagery, and, you know, through media and television. And a very interesting device, which I won't say what it is, to get people to follow their impulses to buy, which then became mind control more generally. So yeah, great movie. Love that. Yeah, this is a great point, Night Owl. Maybe human actors will license. By the way, our inaugural channel member, thank you so much for sticking with me, Night Owl. Let's see. You were saying maybe human actors will license to have their image and voice licensed. No AI can walk the red carpet, at least not yet. Yeah, that's true. You know, there are actors that in Hollywood that have very specific clauses already. As far back as 2023, I know that Keanu Reeves, he does not want AI used unless he gets to have a say in it first, which I think is reasonable. And then we have James Earl Jones, who voiced Darth Vader before he passed away. I don't know if he put it there, but maybe his lawyers, but certainly his estate has in the using his likeness, that he basically says, yeah, use my voice to do Darth Vader. I want my legacy to be Darth Vader. So yes, train the AIs and use my voice to do Darth Vader. So and there have been video games that are using it, and I think you can actually go on to some voice generation AIs, text to speech AIs, that have his voice trained on there. I think I saw it on one of them. It's not 11 Labs. It was another smaller one. But anyway, yeah. So let's see. And then there was another movie that came out with Sean Penn's wife. Let me here. This is a perfect time for me to pull in ChatGPT to kind of like show you how you can have a Swiss brain like your boy Jacob here. And oh yeah, hold on, I have to because I rebooted, I have to bring it in. Just give me one. Okay, I'm back. All right, so let's ask ChatGPT. Let's see. I don't know if I can just dictate into it. Let's try it. What was the science fiction movie with Sean Penn's wife where she was an actress that got forced into licensing her likeness for digital capture? Let's see. All right. So, you know, you just talk about the pieces, parts, and then ChatGPT goes out and finds it for you. The Congress. Yes, that was it. Oh, 2013. I thought it was way newer than that. So here are a few key details that match your description. The film stars Robin Wright Penn, who was at one time married to Sean Penn, and she plays a fictionalized version of herself. In the film's plot, her character agrees to allow a studio to capture and own her digital likeness. In essence, she licenses her image for future use by the studio. The film mixes live action with animation and explores futuristic dystopian themes, kind of like a, you know, Inception meta thing, in which the entertainment industry uses technology to commodify actors' identities. So even back in 2013, they were already talking about that. And I know, yes, yeah, Simone or Sim One, but yeah, Simone was I think is kind of what the play on that. But where I was going with that is that they in the movie, the Congress, they ended up just not like calling her anymore. They just kept using her likeness, and they didn't need to use her anymore. All right, so we got the AI actress, which we're going to see more of that. And, you know, I'm sure this is going to bleed into, if it hasn't already, because she had an Instagram account. I'm sure this is going to bleed into influencers and more AI slop and more videos being generated with fake people and online relationships. This is probably the most PG-13 way that I can say it. All right, so let's move on to the next topic here. So kind of expanding more on AI robots, which have kind of been my last couple videos. I wanted to show you how they actually train the physical AI. The fastest way to train it is to not just show it, but they have devices. Well, here, we'll just play it. But this is a Chinese company. It was the only video I actually found that shows this. So let me switch this over here. And I believe it's translated to English. Let's watch this. It's pretty short, but very, very useful.
A new embodied robot from Chinese firm is pushing the boundaries of what humanoid robots will be able to do in the not-so-distant future. Named Lumen, the robot can do everything from pour beverages to iron. According to its designer, the robot's hardware has 40 degrees of movement freedom and is being trained.
Fair use, YouTube, by the way. All right, let's continue
using
on.
a general-purpose embodied intelligence software model. A data operation manager at the company said soon, Lumen will be able to complete tasks faster than it currently does.
Okay, so we'll get into training here.
Such nimble hands are essential for performing such complex operations. On the software side, we train the robot using a general-purpose embodied intelligence model.
Okay, so that basically means they use, for lack of a better term, a basic ChatGPT, a large language model. So they have a base model, right, that generally can understand natural language and speech. But check this out. This is the special sauce. Let's continue on here.
Volume of data increases and iterates. It will grow smarter and eventually operate much more smoothly.
Besides Lumen, robots from several companies are receiving training at the Hubei Humanoid Robot Innovation.
See that? So they're moving their hands and controlling the robot, right? Showing it how to do things properly. This one's more remote control. There's another version where they actually have sensors on their hands and bodies, and they do the work, and the robot sees the motion. And then this is VR goggles, and that's so that they can see what the robot is seeing in case there's something that goes awry. Let's continue on.
Center with the hopes of one day working in supermarkets, factories, or even homes. But that's not the only place China's robotics sector is thriving. Researchers at the Hubei University of Technology, for example, developed a robot that can safely lift an individual from a bed and transfer them to a wheelchair.
Remember I was saying home health last week?
We are cooperating with hospitals and nursing homes to realize its specific application in different scenarios. We are improving its functions while promoting the robot in the market to prepare for mass production.
So there you go, Batty. They can wipe a whiteboard. You just got to change the angle to wipe something else. That's all I'm saying. All right, continue on. Fair use, YouTube.
Although China's robots sector is growing exponentially, experts say more research on robot safety and on the ethics of science and technology are required before robot housekeepers can enter homes and communities.
Yeah, so it won't off you in your sleep. The early T200 models, or did you mean the T800? Or maybe or you probably have deeper knowledge in all the Terminator stuff. So I'll go with the T200. Okay, continue on. Fair use. Bye-bye. Okay, so there you go. So I just kind of want to show you that a little bit to just give you an idea of how training for different modes. So, you've got inside the computer moving bits and images, and then you have manipulating the physical world. So that's how they do it. Oh, I'll have to check that out. Reminds me of Halo Top. Eat the ice cream from Mike Diva. Check it. Okay. I'll you know what? I'll pull it up and see if it's safe for work. So hold on. Let's see. I don't want to get in trouble here. Let's see. Oh, this is a short. Okay. I'll watch this later. Okay. All right. So let's see what we had. Okay. So there's another channel that I really like. That's more grounded, down to earth. It's generally a technology channel, but it's called Cold Fusion, and they cover AI a lot, and more recently they've been doing physical AI. So I wanted to play this because they bring in a lot of stats and they do a lot of research and pretty comprehensive. So I thought I would pull in their forget AI, the robots are coming. So it starts off here with a little gag in a food court here. So let's see what happens.
Excuse me, do you have a Band-Aid? Because I scraped my knee falling for you. Can I get your number for emergency contact?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Cold Fusion.
Fair use YouTube, by the way. I'm transforming this work with my commentary for educational purposes. Let's continue on here.
As far as technology goes, artificial intelligence is currently at the center of conversation. But while everyone has been focused on that, in just the last 3 years, the field of robotics has experienced a silent revolution. There's been advancements like I've never seen before, especially in the field of general-purpose humanoid consumer robots. This is the world's first humanoid robot Olympics in Beijing, China. With robots from over 16 competing nations, events included soccer, track and field, and martial arts. Although they're essentially schadenfreude entertainment for us humans, this event is just the latest demonstration of the sudden proliferation of humanoid robots. Meanwhile, American company Figure is using AI and advanced dexterity to demonstrate that humanoid robots can indeed do useful work.
Yeah, just as a reminder, Figure 3, that's OpenAI's company, ChatGPT, right? All right. Fair use, YouTube.
From sorting pack.
Yes, Chris, you did hear one. AI is good at dad jokes. Don't underestimate that power. All right, so here we go. We're going to watch a lot of these robots doing things that, last year, just real quick, last year I was very skeptical. I'm going to be honest. I didn't think robotics would advance this fast. And it's going to penetrate trades at entry level, very low level, just like ChatGPT did in my industry in coding, right? I first saw it, I was like, that's not very good. I don't like it. 6 months later, I'm using it every day, all day, because it's that good. So there you go. All right, so fair use YouTube, educational purposes. It'd probably help if you could see the video, right? Okay. That wasn't a gremlin, that was me. Okay, we'll continue.
Figure is using AI and advanced dexterity to demonstrate that humanoid robots can indeed do useful work. From sorting packages to folding clothes and working at the BMW factory in 20-hour shifts.
Helix, a humanoid robot by Figure, showcases its ability to perform household chores by autonomously loading laundry into a washing machine.
In this episode, we'll explore the latest in the field of robotics, complete with my interview with Carolina Parada, head of robotics at Google DeepMind. So why am I doing a video on humanoid consumer robotics? Really, I just find robotics technology fascinating. Yes, a lot of people do talk about further societal or social long-term implications that may or may not happen, but sometimes it's fun to just think of the technology in a vacuum. What makes humanoid robots so interesting to me is that unlike industrial robots which do pre-programmed repetitive tasks over and over again.
So I want to emphasize that these traditional robots here, while they might have some AI, there's the flavor of AI we have today, generative AI, right? The kind that we can talk to, can chat to it, speak to it out loud, and it talks back in natural language. This old stuff is step-by-step programmed. may have a little room for some errors, but it's doing tasks same task over and over and over and over. That worked great. I think that was called the third industrial revolution. And now we're going into what I think is called the fourth industrial revolution, which is the physical AI, the ChatGPT, so to speak, the LLMs inside the robot brain. So now the robots can go into the human physical environment while it's changing and manipulate that environment either by itself or alongside humans. That's the innovation here. Okay, so let's continue on. Fair use YouTube, because it's for edumacation. Oh yeah, real quick. Yeah, baddie. It's not funny. I'm just laughing because you're laughing. But yeah, will Amazon offer lease robots when companies upgrade? I kind of have an idea that all these companies like AWS, DoorDash, they're going to sell their robotics and their platforms to other companies. And because if you look at it like this, Amazon was one of the few companies that rose out of the ashes of the .com crash, and they conquered e-commerce. And one of the things they figured out how to do was to scale to such a large, massive degree because they invented the cloud, or I should say, they popularized the cloud. They leveraged the cloud first at that scale, and then they sold AWS. That's AWS, their cloud services, and now companies use it everywhere. And of course, now you have Microsoft's version and Google's version. But I think they'll do the same thing with their robots, certainly. Okay, so here we go.
Humanoid robots, on the other hand, must adapt to and navigate dynamic environments in real time. It's a challenge that's extremely hard to solve.
Yes.
This episode will be split into 3 parts. The first section will look at how far we've come. The second segment will focus on American robots, and the third section will be the Chinese robot revolution.
And I'm going to
we'll
talk
look at the
about
top
that.
companies, how their tech works, and the interesting different approaches from the Americans and Chinese. So with that out of the way, let's get straight into it.
You are watching Cold Fusion TV.
I'm just going to say right now, different views on personal freedom. I'll just leave it there, but I'll expand more later on.
I think you'll agree that Arok is amazingly
Is that Ernest
lifelike in
Borgnine, Batty?
appearance. Arok is 6 feet 8 inches tall, weighs 275 pounds, and even has a small vocabulary.
As many watchers of this channel would know, I've done a few videos on the state of the art of robotics since 2018, and we've come a long way in just the past 10 years. These are some robot finalists from the DARPA challenge in 2015. They were slow, unstable, and cost an arm and a leg, sometimes up to $500,000.
Yeah, by the way, that DARPA challenge was a really important event because I remember I'd watched those like 10, 15 years ago, and the robots would stand at a door and like just not be able to like open a doorknob or go through a door, or go through steps or the physical and human environment. Not even an issue today. It's incredible, the advancements. But anyway, I'm just nerding out right now.
They were mostly bespoke designs from researchers.
It's easy to design a robot that can handle a specific task. There's police bots for bomb disposal and things like that. Where we aren't is general purpose robots that can do a lot of things really well.
Back then, getting a human robot to even walk was ridiculously hard, and for obvious reasons,
That's me in
the
the
consumer
morning.
robot market didn't even exist. In fact, it was a futuristic but distant dream. Now, today, for under $6,000, you can pick up this humanoid robot that can do acrobatics. Sure, it's a bit wobbly, but come on, you got to admit that it's a feat to mass produce this. The robot is called the R1, and it was released by the Chinese company Unitree a few months ago. Many of you may not have heard of this robot or its company, and it is robots like this that showcase that the price drop in the lower end of humanoid robots has largely gone unnoticed. But if you're looking for something more capable, you can look towards Tesla's Optimus platform. When it launches, whenever that may be, it's said to be aiming for a cost of less than $20K, but
Yeah, so Elon, he's always like hyping stuff, but let's see what this says here. That's a far cry from Elon's ambitious target of $10,000 per unit. I don't think so. But I want to talk about this a little bit. Why Elon thinks that price he could get there, or how I think he might get there. Never mind the $20,000. And this is really important, by the way. And where I'd want you to push back on these companies if you decide to buy one. Even the $20,000 price tag of the Figure 3 robot. One way they get the price low is the same way they did with Google and Gmail. Give it away for free, so to speak, but you sign away your privacy. They use your data to train the robot, which covers training costs. But then you get into another problem. Where is that data going? Is it going to be on servers in China? Is it going to stay in America? Who owns that data? Do I have the right to say, no, don't train on it? Or do I have the right to say, hey, delete it after you train? What are my rights with the data that you're generating? Because remember, data is the new oil, right? So I would ask those questions if you ever go into a robot dealer, just for fun, just to see how they handle it. Because I need to do a little more research on this, but just based on my understanding of the compute power that it would take to probably run one of these LLMs and the amount of memory and stuff, it's not inside the robot. It's transmitting to systems somewhere on the cloud, right? Unless they're able to do it somehow and then relay it or whatever, short-term versus long-term. Still, best bet that there's data going somewhere off the device. Just like in Tesla, the Tesla cars, they're constantly transmitting data to Tesla servers. So just something I'm really concerned about. It's one thing for an American company, but in a company in China, they don't have the same concepts of human rights and privacy. I've talked endlessly about their stealing intellectual property, which is probably how they got the Unitree version, because they don't look like they're too far behind the Figure 3 and the Tesla robots. Wonder how that happened. But anyway, yeah, so just kind of my thought of why they think they can get the price down so low is you're paying for it in another way. All right? It's just something I wanted to bring up. Let's get back to it. Fair use YouTube, because edumacation.
Some estimates believe that it'll be closer to 60K based on the bill of materials. So why are these companies doing this? Well, one reason is that the global humanoid robot market is projected to reach $38 billion by 2035. So there's potentially a lot up for grabs. But wait, have you ever stopped to wonder, why are humanoid robots suddenly everywhere? Well, the timing of this explosion in popularity of both humanoid robots and generative AI isn't just a coincidence. Think about it. Generative AI systems can see and recognize objects, images,
they need each other.
Text, or video, and even understand spoken natural language. We call this multimodality. Using the robot's cameras and microphones, in combination with LLMs, we can then get a crude approximation of human intelligence, or at least the mimicking of it anyway. This helps the robots see and understand their environment better than has ever been possible before. So we all know generative AI systems may get some things wrong when you're trying to extract precise information from a query, but
okay, so now on to the next thing that I want to talk about. So yeah, physical AI, like you say, it's no coincidence. You need the generative AI, the LLMs, the ChatGPT inside for it to be able to do the multimodality, to recognize images. And what we're going to do tonight with the crop circles is a perfect example of what these physical AI or these robots are doing, right? It's a very simple, watered down version, but it'll be demonstrated very clearly in a little bit. So yeah, the other thing is that, yes, we all know ChatGPT hallucinates. So how much these robots hallucinate? How does that translate to physicality and how they move in the world? What safety mechanisms are in there? Do I need a safe word? Can it be the same safe word I use with, who and what bed? Or maybe you don't want that. Anyway, yeah, that was not a dad joke. But yeah, so that's my concern is how does hallucination translate in physical AI? Because it's one thing if you're just moving bits around in a computer. How does it, happen to an arm swinging around in physical space? So just think about that. All right. Fair use YouTube. let's keep moving.
For robotics, it's good enough, and it's been key in making the concept of humanoid robots drastically more feasible.
Hi, Amazon.
Robot foundation models built on transformer neural networks, combined with the generative AI revolution, allows robots to perform with a lower failure rate, even though real-world training data is scarce. We'll get to how that's done a bit more when we talk about America's efforts in the consumer robot space. But now, as we move along in our...
Okay, real quick. He gleaned over it. Maybe he might go into more detail. Okay, so this is another thing. You need a lot of data to train any AI, right? Doesn't matter if it's a ChatGPT or a physical AI robot. And because we have more scruples in the West, we're not going to just take data willy-nilly, although we kind of do it through the terms of service, by giving away things for free, kind of like that way. That's like the most underhanded way we'll do it. Although companies have been stealing copyrighted material to train ChatGPT. That's a whole nother video I did a month or two ago. But China doesn't have those laws, doesn't have those scruples, and their citizens don't have the same privacy. So there are estimates that if you extrapolate for their population versus and I'm talking about US, they have about 10 times the data to train their AI on. Now, 10 times more isn't necessarily better because the quality of the data may not necessarily be better, but the fact that they can comb through 10 times the amount of data to get even better training information is the opportunity there, right? So just something else to think about. And that's how China can beat our ass with this AI thing. And in fact, I think they're going to eventually beat us at some point. Okay, so us meaning good old USA. All right, so here we go. Fair use YouTube. Let's continue on.
Our journey. If we turn our attention to the state of the art that's produced at scale, that would have to be Figure 02's robot, with 100,000 robots planned to ship in the next 4 years. And don't worry, we'll get to Boston Dynamics later. But the thing is, their robots really aren't for sale, at least in mass production numbers. Okay, so although I've done a video on Figure before, let's briefly zoom in here to just understand what the state of the art is. The first of the American robots is Figure 02. This robot can recognize and respond to natural language to carry out actions. Its joints are powered by custom motors, giving the ability to carry up to 25 kilograms or 55 pounds. Each hand features 16 degrees of freedom, and each finger has integrated motors and sensors. It features 6 onboard cameras for 3D perception and environment mapping. It of course has speakers and microphones. And Figure 02 has a 360-degree field of view, and that's thanks to cameras in its head, torso, and back. And if you're wondering about a rough release date, CEO Brett Adcock said in a podcast, quote, "Within the next 3 years, we'll definitely have robots piloting at homes," end quote.
Yeah, Batty, I wasn't digging that Cylon thing. Not digging it at all. All right, but I'm pausing mostly for fair use. Continue on YouTube.
O2's brain was powered by OpenAI, but the company switched to an in-house AI in 2025. Now, Figure's robots are powered by the Helix system, a system that they're calling a Vision Action Model, or VLA. VLA is a proprietary system which combines visual perception, language comprehension, and motor control into one.
Looks like a
this
person
means
in a
that
suit.
it can understand scenes, natural language instructions, and translate this data into real-time continuous robot actions. Each robot has 2 GPUs with 2 systems. System number 2 plans tasks at about 8 operations per second, while System 1 executes them at 200 operations per second. The company claims that each robot should be able to pick up nearly any small household object, even if it hasn't seen it before. The AI brain, Helix, was trained on 500 hours of robot teleoperation episodes, each paired with auto-generated text descriptions.
Yeah, so the tele whatever he was talking about, the episodes, that's the using the remote controls to train it, right? And then they would also they would use text prompts to describe, hey, this is what's happening, this is what we're doing, just to kind of give it more natural language context. Okay, there's a little bit of nerdinese in there. But just wanted to clarify that. What are you saying, Batty? Oh yeah, because the the people picking their nose and touching your food. Can't wait for booger-free food. I just don't want them eating my fries on the way over. That's all I worry about. All right, fair use, YouTube.
Those who aren't aware, teleoperation is basically when a human controls a robot. The pairing of the text descriptions with the teleoperated video allows the robot to link language instructions with the right robot actions. As for walking, Figure employed reinforcement learning in simulated environments, training thousands of virtual robots to walk naturally. On board,
by the way, just real quick, that was happening inside of a computer. They practice over and over and over at high speed until they learn how to do it based on something that they see, right? So they figure out all the joints and how they move. That's one way they do it too. I forgot what that's called. I might have to look that up, but that's one way they can train the robot. So they use all kinds of different methods, but there was a lot of computer simulations ran before they let that thing run loose in the world. Let's just put it that way.
To walk naturally. On board are NVIDIA RTX-based GPU modules with 3 times more AI computing capability than Figure 01. The battery runtime is about 5 hours per charge. In recent demos, Figure 02 loaded towels, crouched to load a washing machine, and more. And this was a blatant showcase of early domestic competence. Interesting. Before we look at the rest of the robots from China and the US, we should ask ourselves a question. Is it necessary to have humanoid robots at all? Why not just make machines purpose-built for specific tasks?
No, you need
Well, either
them.
approach is equally valid, but humanoid robots do have some advantages. The humanoid form is more socially acceptable. In elder care, for example, patients would rather, well, a human, but after that, they'd probably find something that looks more human, more relatable, than a box on wheels or an industrial arm. On the
Get in the box.
practical side, humanoids are designed to operate in environments built for humans, climbing stairs, opening doors, and using tools, things like that. So, in theory, this means that you don't have to rebuild your home, office, or factory for these robots to work. But is the humanoid form always the most practical solution? No, not necessarily. A robot with wheels, for example, is faster and more energy efficient
I'm
on
not
flat
having that
surfaces.
one.
A specialized arm could be stronger and more precise in a factory. But what humanoid robots do have is versatility and familiarity. For many applications, the trade-off might be worth it. For others, maybe not.
And also, too, they can move in the human-built world. So I've talked about this briefly a couple times where we might get weird forms that are designed to work in like an odd-shaped room for whatever reason. I mean, this is also new. We don't know what the factories of the future will be like when we won't have humans in certain environments anymore. So just something interesting there. But yeah, the social factor or the uncanny valley is another thing, which the Japanese are absolutely obsessed with. The uncanny valley, like how close can they make the robots real like humans? That might be something I can explore later on in another live stream. But let's continue on for fair use education, YouTube.
In the United States, Tesla's Optimus robot has demonstrated tasks from sorting blocks to performing yoga poses.
Yeah.
Of course, Kim Kardashian has one and was playing rock, paper, scissors with it.
Downward
A more
dog.
recent demo shows Optimus taking out the trash, sweeping and vacuuming, also using paper towels, stirring a pot, opening cabinets and closing curtains. And I think you can see the trend here. At least if the demos are anything to go by, it seems like these robots
I closed your curtains 1,993.9 times.
are destined for the home. So for those online who say, all I wanted in the future was for AI to do the boring chores while I handle the creative stuff, well, you may just have your wish now. The Optimus robot was trained using the same neural network used in Tesla's full self-driving system. It was also trained on first-person videos of humans performing these actions.
So there you
Tesla
go.
employs a simulation-based learning approach, referring to this as, quote, digital dreams. And this gives the advantage of training Optimus exclusively in virtual environments, generating a massive amount of training data without any physical wear. Perhaps most impressively is the fact that every Optimus unit contributes to fleet learning, meaning that the entire network continuously improves as more robots gain experience.
So there you go. That's what I was talking about earlier. Oh, it's a $10,000 robot, but you know, we're going to use your data to train the entire freaking fleet. So, you know, we'll just give you a discount for that. Yeah. And the damn things have eyes in the back of their heads too. So there you go. Let's see. What are you saying, Batty? Who has stopped the upload to these home robots to go full military mode? Yeah, nothing. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And Lily was saying earlier, it's scary when you see robots en masse. Yeah, it's even creepier when they move perfectly in sync. That's just wrong. Okay. Whoops, sorry. Double clicks. Let's continue on. Fair use, YouTube. Yes, that is true, Batty. I was mentioning that earlier, that I've heard Tesla owners complain that their battery was getting drained, and they were looking at the CPU running like, what the hell's going on? And it was basically the AI uploading a massive cache from the day's drive. So, yep. So who knows how much more expensive those cars would be without all that data that you're feeding in there. So, check your terms of service. All right, fair use, YouTube. Let's continue on. And you want to see the video too.
Interestingly, during the training process, Tesla employees wearing motion capture suits perform tasks such as walking, lifting weights, and manipulating objects, all for the purpose of humanizing training data. Over 50 operators have contributed.
What if you have a scratch? What if you got an itch in the crack? What happens? You got to start the training session all over?
Hundreds of hours of mimic data, essential for robot learning. Currently, inside the bot are AMD and NVIDIA GPUs, but Tesla is aiming to develop its own in-house AI5 and AI6 chips. Tesla aims to begin production of 5,000 to 10,000 units in 2025, with aspirations for 50,000 units by 2026.
Holy
The battery
mackerel.
is set to last a full day of operation.
That's
and now we come to the robotic GOAT. 10 years ago, Boston Dynamics' Atlas robot was far and away the most advanced humanoid robot the world had ever seen. Atlas is known for its agility, from crawling, jumping, and rolling to straight-up parkour.
Yeah, I showed this a couple weeks ago on my AI Robots live stream. I love Boston Dynamics. It's my particular favorite. They've been doing it for like 20 plus years.
In 2024, in the wake of increasing competition, the company switched Atlas's actuators from hydraulics to fully electric. On board, there's 3 AI models spread across 3 local computers. Now with improved 3D vision and NVIDIA Jetson and Isaac GR00T hardware for real-time AI model execution, let's check out what Atlas is capable of now.
You're watching what could be a hugely significant step towards robots that are much better at navigating the messy real world and that can learn new skills very quickly. Atlas, a humanoid robot from Boston Dynamics, recently learned to both walk and grab items using just a single artificial intelligence model. Boston Dynamics, together with the Toyota Research Institute, developed the generalist AI model, which learns to control both the robot's arms and its legs from a range of example actions.
Get out of
This
here.
is different from what you may have seen previously. Normally, robots would use one AI model to walk, another to jump, and another to grasp items. Most models also lack the ability to adapt. The model used to control this Atlas is both more general, and it is showing some tantalizing signs of emergent behavior, like the ability to instinctively recover when it drops an item. This is a lot more exciting.
Emergent behavior. Pay attention to that, kids. That's an important term. Like he was saying, they just somehow figured out how to recover when they get shoved over. Not liking that.
Than it might seem. While there's work to do, one of the researchers involved says the evidence so far suggests that the approaches used to develop large language models will also work for robots. It's changing everything, he says. Just as LLMs fed large amounts of text data sometimes exhibit unexpected abilities, like the ability to code, roboticists hope that a similar strategy will produce robots that exhibit a lot of surprising new skills when getting things done.
In August of 2025, Boston Dynamics revealed their latest intelligence efforts.
So let me back up a little bit. Basically, these researchers, they're like, yeah, we're not exactly sure how to train the robots fully, but this emergent behavior thing, it'll fill in the gaps. We're good. That's how you get Skynet, kids. All right, continue on.
Use robots that exhibit a lot of surprising new skills when getting things done.
In August of 2025, Boston Dynamics revealed their latest intelligence efforts. In collaboration with the Toyota Research Institute, they're creating what they call a large behavioral model. Here's how it works. Collect behavioral data from teleoperation and in simulation. Process, annotate, and curate the data in such a way that it can be incorporated into machine learning.
So that curate thing, that's what I was talking about, where China will have the advantage. They have 10 times the data. It'll take them longer to curate the good stuff out of it, but they'll have like better quality curated data. Okay.
Train a neural network using all of the data across all of the tasks. And finally, evaluation. I could talk a bit more about how it works, but I think it would be more interesting to see it in action. Here's a video of Atlas actively understanding natural language and performing actions. It can also fold chairs, tie a rope, or stack cubes. Today, the Atlas robot has been put to work.
Yeah, but can it poke a bear?
One of its first jobs is to be deployed in the South Korean company Hyundai Motor Group's production sites. Its job is to perform repetitive tasks in place of humans. Interestingly, Boston Dynamics was bought by Hyundai in 2021. So as we continue, it's interesting to note that the robot's brains, that is, the AI chips and software, constitute approximately 80% of a humanoid robot's value. And as mentioned, the US maintains a significant lead here. But the AI component of this also gives rise to something interesting. Google's AI, Gemini, has been plopped into robotics hardware systems, and somehow it works with very little tuning. I went and saw it myself at Google's I/O event earlier this year. At the event, I also had an interview with Carolina Parada, Senior Director and Head of Robotics at Google DeepMind.
Yeah, so I lead the Google DeepMind robotics team, and I've been working with Google DeepMind robotics for about 7 years. Yeah, we're super excited about this release. We have been working in AI for robotics since the team started about 10 years ago. So we've always believed that AI will really transform what's possible for robotics. So what you're seeing in that booth is Gemini Robotics, which is sort of our latest, most exciting model. And it's
Google needs to work on the naming. They're calling anything and everything AI Gemini because they're chatbots Gemini, and now they're calling their physical AI Gemini. Come on, Google. It's confusing.
Visual language action model is essentially enabling the robot to see what it sees in front of it, understand your request, and then take action directly. So that means Gemini is actually moving the robot. And what's cool about that is that you can then take all of that multimodal intelligence that is already there and just simply extend it to a new language of actions in this case. I will say we've always believed in this mode of having AI just understand the world and transfer that into actions.
They still just have the arm,
We were not really seeing signs of life until maybe around 3 years ago. And then 3 years ago, all of a sudden, we started applying LLMs, and now it was understanding semantics. Now you could understand when you say, I'm thirsty, and that was all you have to say. We can now leverage the wave of improvement that's coming from foundation models. We just get that for free. A lot of what you saw today, we didn't work even that hard to get. It just flew out. Gemini today is the best model at understanding the physical world. We are working very hard to make it even stronger at understanding the physical world. And
yeah, so like they were saying earlier, 80% of the value of the robots is the software, not necessarily the hardware or the chips. And this is where China is able to close the gap because they're very good at getting the software. There's lots of ways to get software, but yeah, we're networked together, and yeah, and LLMs. I mean, there's websites where I can go and download all kinds of different LLMs I can run on my own computer. Might show you how to do that someday, and it's free. So anyway, fair use YouTube, but I just want to point that out. That's another way that China can jump in the race because it forces them to innovate, to use less powerful processing units. And they already demonstrated their ability to make a very, very comparable solution or product to ChatGPT with their DeepSeek AI that came out earlier this year. All right, so let's continue onward.
And then be applied directly to robotics.
The different strategies for the US and China when it comes to humanoid robots plays on both nations' strengths. America is leading in robot intelligence and quality. Companies like OpenAI, Boston Dynamics, and NVIDIA have all come up with clever ways to effectively give robots AI brains. China, on the other hand, is doing the same, but they're also getting into mass production pushed by the state. This means that they can pump out robots much faster and with lower cost and ever-increasing capabilities. While America still leads.
So would you trust a Chinese robot company? Right? Things got cameras, they got sensors. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Where does that data go? I remember, just as a quick side, just as an example, I'm like super into smart house technology. And I bought some curtain rods that open and close the drapes, right? And it was made in China. And I started digging into some of the code a little bit, and it was sending data. You were actually sending the command to open and close the curtains to servers in China, right? Not the software running in the curtain. Why would I need to do that? What need would China have to know when I'm opening and closing my curtains? It's just odd, but I'm sure there's some kind of like state reason for that. But this is the kind of stuff you have to be careful with, is that we talk a lot about this in my cybersecurity classes, where one of the big things is when you buy what they call appliances or network security appliances, that they watch the traffic go through your network, packet sniffing, for lack of a better term. You better check and make sure that every single chip, where the software was written, even other unknown components, don't have any back doors in them, especially if you purchased it through a supply chain where, yes, 07 Wireshark, you're in the know. But imagine putting a piece of hardware sitting on your network that some Chinese actors or any third state actor that has nefarious ideas, or they can steal your intellectual property with, because they have a backdoor into your network. So, it's sort of that thing with the phones and TikTok, your kids running TikTok while they're sitting in the living room, recording everything and all, there's a talk about that. Same thing, right? So we just have to push back a little bit. Maybe the price is higher. Don't take that cheaper price for the loss of your privacy and the control of your data. Yes. So yeah, Wireshark, for those of you that don't know, is a piece of nifty software that you can use to capture passwords and other things on networks. So it's used by hackers quite a bit. But I mean, it's a good tool too, but it's can be used for bad as well. Let's see. Lily comes in with, if the economy is run by robots and not people, what leverage do humans have against the government? Baseball bat? No, but yeah, that is a valid question. And it's a concerning one. Again, why I push back. How much control do you have over your data? Where is it going? Because Europe has the GDPR, which gives the fundamental rights to people that visit websites and sign in for services. They can tell the service, you have to delete my data. You can't use my data, but you have to explicitly tell the company not to do that, right? So every time you sign up for a new account, got to send an email, got to go through this form or whatever mechanism they set up on their site. It's there, but they put the onus on you, the user. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, definitely, Batty. No accountability. It's kind of where it's going. And just, even with the what I was talking about, the big blender to make the AI actress, and companies, Meta in particular, were ingesting copyrighted works. They even set up infrastructure on a different cloud that had nothing to do with their infrastructure to train AI on stolen books and content. It's not looking good. The scruples are going down the drain. Let's see what. Oh yeah. You're 07. You're saying we cannot even get decent right to repair laws in place. Yeah. So there's limitations. What he's getting at is you can't just like open your own iPhone and start repairing it. And there's even, obsolescence built into devices to encourage you to avoid this messy thing of, you don't need to repair. Just get the next one, get the next best thing. Apple's quite notorious for that. I remember the days when you could take the battery out of your smartphone. Try and do that today. Even Android, you can't do it. All right, so let's get back to the video here. We're going to get into some uncanny valley stuff here. Wow. Getting a little bulge here. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see what happens. Fair use, YouTube. It's for education.
Let's take a look at the East to see what's happening. But first, a word from today's sponsor. Now with the rise of AI and robots, many are taking matters into their own hands. They're starting businesses or going solo as freelancers. In 2023, Americans filed 5.5 million new business applications, the highest on record. And this is making entrepreneurship in the US the hottest trend. It's no secret how overwhelming running a business can be though. Even freelancing as a one-man show is a
Okay, I got to ask you guys in the chat, have any of you thought, I don't know how much y'all use AI and whatnot, but have you like seen all those videos where it's like, oh, you can make $10 million in 30 days by being, your own employee and all that stuff? Please. But yeah, I don't think any of that's true, but let's continue on.
Challenge. So where on earth do you start? Well, that's where our sponsor, Odoo,
Oh,
comes
we're
in.
not doing that. All right, let's jump ahead. Sorry, Cold Fusion. But, but what I'm getting at is like, even with 5.5 billion applications for new businesses, you would think that there'd be more 10 millionaires floating around if that were true, is my point. All right, so let's continue on. Fair use. China.
Back to the story. While America leads in software, innovation and capabilities, China is going for scale and cost effectiveness. From the iPhone to electric cars, over the past 20 years, the country in the Far East has gained the capacity to make advanced hardware at rapid scale. As the, quote, world's factory, China already benefits from a vast supply chain and streamlined production. The country has been the world's largest industrial robot maker for years, with sales reaching 90,000 units as far.
That's probably how they've been stealing all that intellectual property. They get their robots into some industry, get on the network, and just start sniffing around. Guarantee you. Continue on. Fair use, YouTube.
Back as 2016, and accounted for 30% of the global market that year, so they were more than prepared when it came to the humanoid robot boom. The International Federation of Robotics reported that over half of all robots sold globally in 2023 were made in China, and that number has surely grown since. The total value of humanoid robots produced in China is expected to reach approximately $616 million this year. It seems that in China, most robots are being used for entertainment purposes.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Some do work, and one can even change its own battery. But as for the entertainment bots, you can't deny that it's pretty fun to watch. From robot boxing matches, to a robot soccer league, to a robot Olympics. In a technical sense, these robots may not be as impressive as the cutting edge, but here's the thing, they're ubiquitous. There's videos of children in China playing with their humanoid robots, and no one bats an eyelid anymore.
Wow.
Chinese robotics firms like Unitree, Agibot, Galbot, Engine AI, and Liju Robotics are using China's growth in manufacturing to their advantage.
That's probably how they get the kids like in 1984 to watch their neighbors. The robot's like, that guy, keep an eye on him. The state's interested. You know how that's going. Or they probably go like, you like communism, right? I know your buddy likes communism. Come on. That's how it's rolling. All right. Fair use, YouTube.
These companies are popping up everywhere. Engine AI's PM 01 performs front flips, while the SE01 walks remarkably like a human. Robot Extra's XBot L famously climbed the Great Wall of China. There's way too many Chinese companies to go into detail about each one, so let's just focus on the most popular.
Yeah, Unitree.
Unitree's G1 model displays impressive balance, can do martial arts, and dance. They're the most viral robots at the moment due to their relatively low cost. The G1 can walk, run at speeds reaching 7 kilometers an hour, jump, climb stairs, and even fold for easy transport.
Yeah.
Though this reviewer laments that even though its movements are impressive, it can't really do anything useful. It's likely because he got the cheapest version, but it's also because the G1 is more of a research and development platform. It's not...
Just put a hook on it and, hang your grocery bag on it or something and use it as a mule. But yeah, anyway, that thing earlier where it changes its own battery, no. No, that should not be allowed. Don't remove the power switches. Don't allow them to change their power sources, and don't give them the ability to turn themselves back on. Nah, I'm not having that. All right, continue.
Really
on.
consumer ready just yet. And on the other hand, the American robots aren't in the hands of everyday people, so we could be equally disappointed when the time comes for their release. The G1 is mostly remote controlled to execute pre-programmed actions. Like its American counterparts, the G1 learns both from demonstration and reinforcement learning, and this enables it to refine its balance and movements over time. As for the physical brain, most of the grunt comes from NVIDIA Jensen Origin modules. This enables the G1 to handle real-time AI perception processing. The 9,000 mAh battery will give you about 2 hours of operation. When programmed by professionals, the G1 has been used in factories for tasks like assembly. Also, it's been demonstrated in medical settings via remote control. Units like the Uncle Bot have gained viral attention for its human-like behaviors. As for a less fun use, in Indonesia, they're being used to fight crime. Kind of.
What? Don't be giving them sticks like that. Nope. I don't know if I like that. I'm not feeling that one. All right, but this is going to be interesting here too, because China has had, even though it's like communism and all that, they've had a massive growth in their middle class, and they're finding, they want the white collar jobs. They don't want to do all the, labor and, same problems we're having here in the West. So yeah, but they're more populous. I think they're 4 times the size of the U.S. population. So, the problem's bigger, right? Let's continue on.
So moving forward, an advantage that these companies have over US firms is massive state subsidization. For example, in January of 2024, the city of Beijing launched a $1.4 billion state-backed robotics fund. In July, Shanghai also announced a $1.4 billion fund specifically for humanoid robots. You can easily see how that kind of money can give a bunch of companies a head start. China's strategic manufacturing has led to a flood of robot patent filings. 5,688 patents compared to the US's 1,483 over.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know China had a patent system. I thought they just took whatever, but I'll have to look more into that. I'm a little bitter. I have family history with China. They got into a company and basically took over and stole the IP. So I'm not a fan. Okay, continue on YouTube. Fair use.
For 5 years. And China as a whole is taking robotics seriously. Part of the Made in China 2025 policy aims to increase global market share of Chinese-made robots from 31% to 50%. Government initiatives like the Robot Industry Development Plan from 2016 to 2020 help establish the infrastructure and expertise now being leveraged for humanoid robot production. And this highlights the major difference between the US and China. In the US, capital investment in the private sector are leading the charge. It results in better quality, but slower time to market. China is just blasting robots out all over the place.
Yeah, they're a little less cautious about printing money. They're famously known for manipulating the dollar and currency and all that to their benefit. So yeah, it's but don't get me wrong, they get market crashes and things like we do too. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah. This is kind of what I was going to get to. Hard to beat a country where the culture is all about collectivization, which our culture does the opposite, division among the working class. Yeah, it's true. But, both systems have their advantages and disadvantages.
So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. And also, here's a question. If a functional humanoid robot got down to, say, $2,000 US, would you buy one? That day will come sooner than you think. Let me know in the comments section below.
Yeah, just sign the terms of service. It's just a checkbox. Don't even have to read it.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching the whole way through this episode. It really does mean a lot. And thanks for your support over all these years.
Yeah, so check out Cold Fusion. I love his content. He's a great content creator. Always gets the facts. I love it. So give him a sub if you want to see more of that stuff. But yeah. So what do y'all think? You think I'm being a little too cautious over China, or do you think or maybe we should worry more about what our own companies are going to do with privacy. I think it's a 2-layer cake. It's going to happen on both fronts personally. All right. And just curious too, I'm wondering how the quality of the stream has been, because I'm doing ultra low latency just to test my equipment, so that when I've got a new game platform that I'm working on where more near real-time Zoom delay, like a Zoom meeting delay, is kind of where we need to be. But it looks like, I wave my hand and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, just 3 or 4 seconds. Pretty cool. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on to the next topic, and that's going to be using AI as a what do they call it? A seriologist, which is the study of the origin, structure, and authenticity of crop circles. So I know Lily has been wanting me to do this for a while. So what I thought I would do is, I'm not one, but maybe we could have ChatGPT step into that role. So what I'll do is I'll whip up a prompt and kind of give the AI some context. But let me show you some of the pictures she sent in. In fact, I think, she wrote me a little note here. Where is that? I get a lot of messages from y'all. Here we go. So she says, "Hi, Jacob. These are some of the best crop circles. One can clearly say they are of alien origin, as a couple were found in Wiltshire, England." Did I say that right? Wiltshire? And those people cannot be capable of such intricacies. All right. So let's see what the AI can find. Oh yeah, you want to see those. Let me get that queued up real quick. I'll just show you. She sent me 4 images. That, here we go. Julio Iglesias. Awesome. Yes. So here we go. Show you the article. Where is it? It's not behave. Oh, you know what? Because I had to reboot my system earlier tonight. Just give me 1 second to integrate that. So only take 1 second here. So you can see that. Welcome to the AI Dead, by the way. All right, so I'm going to show you some of these images here. Minimize some windows because I've got too many open at the moment. I have like a piece of software that runs and it rearranges them for me, but when I rebooted it, it shut it off. So I just got to find the right set of tabs here. Here we go. Okay. So here's the first image that Lily sent me. I mean, that's pretty intricate. So yeah, I mean, that would be pretty hard to do in one night. I don't know if that'll take, you know, because that's the thing about, you know, I'm of the school where I think it's a hoax, right? But you know, this doesn't look like something like a couple dudes, you know, drinking some beer and they go out overnight and yeah, it's a commitment. It's definitely one way to put it. That is a commitment. So like if these people are out there, you know, with their wood planks, you know, walking around smashing down the wheat, you'd think that they would get spotted 'cause they can't do it in the dark. You would think, right? Even with night vision, that'd be pretty hard to do. Here's another one. I've seen this one before. This one is pretty massive. This was a big one, but not as complicated as this one, which I think looks like 2 magnetic poles, like where you have the filings go around 2 poles. Go back to this one, and then the third one. This one looks more doable. You know, if I were a human, I could definitely see that one could be done. But yeah, that first one, I don't know. We'll have to see. And this one, wow, I've never seen a crop circle like that one before. That's a totally new design. So let's for really quick, I just want to show you. I asked ChatGPT, you know, hey, you know, you've got parapsychologists or paranormal researchers and all that stuff, what do you call, these people that do crop circles? And it turns out there's actually this term, the Cereologists, the study of crop circles. And it comes from Ceres. Don't come on, house. Don't be talking to me. The Roman goddess of agriculture and grain. It was coined in the late 1980s, early 1990s when crop circles started exploding in the UK. Because, I remember, if you're old enough to remember, In Search Of, in the mid 1970s to late 1970s, it was like hosted by Leonard Nimoy, and he would, talk about all the latest sightings of whatnot. And I remember there was a crop circles episode. I did one on Stonehenge and other things. And by the way, Lily, I'm wondering, because we were talking earlier about how you don't see crop circles in France, right? What's the deal with there? And I've heard that it's because of the ley lines, like natural magnetic resonances between the henges that dot the aisles. So I don't know if you had heard that before, if you have anything you want to add to that. But I just thought I'd kind of spin it a little more so you all could kind of get a context for what some people say, what other people believe. I'm a cynic, so I'm always like watching The Magician and trying to figure out how they do it. So that's your boy Jacob. All right, so let's see if we can spin up a ChatGPT here. I'm going to get a bigger screen so that you can see better. And I'm going to upload one of the image one at a time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of make this like a game, right? Oh, so Lily says she's not heard that. She prefers the aliens. Okay, all right. I've also heard that it's when UFOs come down and it's the magnetic or the anti-gravitational energy that makes the patterns. But you would think that it would always be the same pattern. So I don't know if I buy that one. All right. So, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, like I said, sort of gamify this. So what I like to do is I'll train the AI to first say, okay, you're a cereologist that knows crop circles, right? Give it a role. So that's one of the crucial things when you use AI, right? You want to give it a role so it has better context, so it's not pulling in all kinds of random stuff, and it tends to hallucinate less. Although ChatGPT has gotten much better about understanding context when you ask it things, but I still think it's good habit to give it a proper role. And then we'll kind of give it a little bit of information, and then I'll define, hey, I'm going to upload these images one at a time, and I want you to, act like this cereologist and investigate and tell me what you would look at in these images to determine if they are, aliens, Bigfoot stomping around, whatever. All right. So let's whoop this out. Okay. So I want to show you this in real time, because you don't have to be excellent at grammar. You don't have to be perfect, because AI was trained on idiots too. All right. So let's start with, I have pictures of crop circles, and I want you to take on the role of a world renowned. Am I spelling that right? I'm gonna double check that. My Swiss cheese brain. Yeah. Oh no, I missed an E. Cereologist. Don't turn on. Because I always I could see the light spinning over there. It's thinking. All right. World renowned cereologist. I'm, let's see. Let's just sort of I like to gamify it. So let's say, here are some rules. And this is just my way of doing it. It's not exactly how you have to do it, but it kind of delineates how I want the AI to look at the images and, do its analysis, right? And it probably, to be honest, it'd probably go out on the internet and cheat and try and figure out, What do other people say? But it's all fun. So number one, the first rule is I will upload one of 4 images at a time. 2, I want you to use your seriology techniques to analyze each image then I want you to, I guess, say, determine the origin of the crop of the circles, right? It'll know what I mean. i.e., human-made, alien influence, I don't know, cryptids. Can't leave out the cryptids, right? You know, back there, your boy's got his alien bust and his big foot, right? Etc. 4, give a rating of 1 to 10 of your determination, right? So that's kind of the gamification determination. And 5, give me a short, sometimes that's not enough. Let's say 4 to 5, I mean, that's too long. Let's say 2 to 4 sentence explanation of how you came to your findings, right? I think that's enough. Now I'm just going to prompt the AI to just kind of say, you know, hey, are you ready? Or actually, you know what? I always like to do this. Now, well, I won't do that. I was going to ask it to confirm what I'm telling it, but I think this is good enough. Whoops. I don't want to. Oh, I push enter. Let me stop this. I'm going to go back and edit. Are you ready for the first image? All right. I spelled images plural. I saw that. All right, so let's let it think a little bit. All right, let's see. Absolutely. Professor of Seriology reporting in. Satellite and wheat emojis. That's right. I don't know if how long y'all have been using generative AI or chat or GPTs like this, but I remember emojis would just be all over the place. So it's kind of cute to see the emojis there. I kind of miss it. Let's see. I'm ready for image 1. When you upload it, I'll assess it using image-based indicators. So that's why I didn't want to say confirm, because sometimes, you know, the sycophancy, the kiss-buttedness of the AI will come back and confirm anyway. So you don't really have to do that anymore. It's gotten better in that way. Let's see. I'll assess using image-based indicators, pattern geometry, edge fidelity. Ooh, that's a good one. Lay texture, tramline footpath evidence, soil disturbance cues, and environmental context. I'll stick to what can be inferred from the photo itself, no lab tests, and I'll keep it tight. When you send an image, I'll reply in this exact format. So yeah, this is great. I don't have, because I used to have to like say, hey, confirm, tell me what you're going to do. This is great. So seriology technique, image X, observations, key indicators, origin verdict, which is of one of these enumerators would be human-made, possible hoax, probable natural, probable cryptid influence. I don't know about you, Lily, but this is awesome. This is cool. Probable non-human intelligence, inconclusive, choose one. Confidence rating, N to 10, and why I think this. Ready when you are. So what do you think, Lily? You ready for me to drop that first image? You know what? I'm gonna save the more complicated one for last. We'll start with the simplest one. We'll start with let's see. I think this one. Yeah, let's start with this one first, right? So let me go over to my handy dandy folder here. Make sure I got the right one. Okay. Yep, there we go. All right, so I'll drag it in. I've got to adjust my windows here. Go back to the GPT. There we go. Drag it over. There we go. And this is basically what physical AI can do. It can, although it's looking at 24 frames or whatever frames per second, and it's analyzing, right? This is slow-mo, right? So here we go. Let's send it in, see what the AI does. It's thinking. So let's see here. Seriology technique image 1. Observations. I found some web results. No, never mind, Siri. Be quiet. I knew that was going to happen. Shit. Okay. I'm yelling at my house. I'm going crazy. All right. The circles are geometrically perfect with progressive Fibonacci cycle scaling patterns. The stalks appear uniformly flattened in one direction rather than interwoven or node bent in multiple spirals. The design is fully symmetrical and very close to tram lines, access paths. So I think these tram lines, it's these little 2 lines next to each other. I think that's what those are, tram lines. All right. Yeah, you like the Fibonacci golden ratio, right on. That's a very important number in a lot of physics, math, and architecture, music even, the way harmony works in music. Very, very soothing to the human senses, for sure. All right, the design is fully symmetrical with the tram lines, which is a common logistical requirement in known man-made formations. Her sense of many visitors suggests accessible location rather than a remote placement. That's interesting. So the key indicators are entry points align with tractor lines. Flattening appears pressed rather than blown or heat stressed. I think it's ruling out a UFO there. Let's see. No secondary lay patterns or layering visible. Perfect Euclidean layout consistent with rope and board technique. Okay. Let's see. Origin verdict, human made, 8.5 out of 10. Is how confident it is. And let's see. Okay. Let's see if it pulled from the internet, because maybe somebody else determined this. I don't know if the AI really, because it only just pulls in what someone else said, right? It's not actually literally figuring it out. But let's see what the information is here. The structure has a mathematical precision typical of artistic hoax circles made by experienced circle making groups in the UK during the late 90s and 2000s. The crop orientation lacks the subtle multi-vector swirling and node elongation reported in anomalous formations. Its proximity to tram lines and uniform lay patterns strongly suggests human access and construction. High craftsmanship, but methodically terrestrial. All right. So what do you think, Lily? Do you agree with that? Okay. I'll get the next image in here. I think we'll do the next one. Let's see. That one's a little too complicated. Bollocks. That's funny. Remember, this is AI, so, it could be hallucinating. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we get one. I'm actually rooting for you, Lily. Don't catch me being critical. Let's do this one next. This one's kind of like the next, I think, complicated one. And I think this one will be, the determination will be human, I think. But the really complicated one, I think that one's going to be, that one might be real, right? All right, so let me upload this one. Go back to ChatGPT. Oops, wrong one. We'll save that one for last. Just bear with me here. All right, we'll upload that in there. Fire it off. Let's see. I need to get that 1970s mainframe sound. Beep, boop, 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 beep, beep, boop, boop. Okay, so let's see. Image 2. The formation displays extreme complexity with hundreds of circles arranged in recursive symmetry. The distribution follows a fractal-like or quasi-logarithmic scaling pattern rather than a simple geometric chain. Crucially, the smaller satellite circles show no visible tram line or entry path alignment, which makes manual construction much more logistically challenging. The lay appears smooth without visible scuffling or drag marks typical of planking. All right. I don't know. So half of this could be hallucination, but let's roll with this. Let's see. Large scale fractality, no obvious staging, uniformity of curvature. Some circles appear formed where no tram lines or access exists. Resembles patterns, harmonic, resonant structure seen in cymatics research, fractals. So yeah, non-human intelligence, non-terrestrial is the verdict. So you got one, Lily. How about that? Unknown advanced method is the description here. 7.5 out of 10. That one, that's pretty confident. That's high confidence. All right, so let's throw the next one in. My voice is starting to run out here, so let me find that one. So we're going to do the one that kind of looks like the biohazard symbol here. Just give me one sec. I've never seen one like that. That one's pretty cool. Okay, send it in. Keep the verdict hidden here. All right. Let's see. The formation shows six-fold radial symmetry with precise circular arcs and interior circuit board style glyphs. Unlike purely circular designs, this one involves sharp internal right angle geometry, which is significantly more difficult to create by flattening stalks uniformly. The lines inside the circle show crisp borders rather than the slightly feathered edges seen in plank-based flattening. The spacing and line thickness are highly consistent. I don't know. We may have another one in the bag for you here, Lily. Let's see. Let's see. You want to take a guess first? What do you think? I mean, I know what you think, but what do you think the AI is going to think? Awesome. a whole platoon of aliens. Awesome. Okay, let's see. The verdict is possible non-human, exotic intelligence influence, confidence rating 6.5 out of 10. Not as high, but still, better than a coin toss. So there you go. It's the straight lines. I think that's what got it. All right. So we got 2 out of 3 so far. Let's see what the fourth one is here. The magnetic resonance or the magnetic patterns. So let's throw that in here. All right. Without further ado, beep, bop, boop. And if you haven't liked the video yet, everybody, I would really appreciate a like. And go into the comment section later on and leave whether you like the live stream or what you liked about the live stream. Either way, I appreciate the interaction. Okay, so let's see what Mr. GPT came up with here. Okay, let's see. Image technique 4. This formation shows multi-layered braiding and interference pattern geometry, not just flattening. The interior texture is wave-like and appears to form a moire or cymatic interference field with 2 distinct nodal centers. So yeah, we've got, that's why it reminds me of the magnets. Both the poles, magnetic fields going around a bar right here. And this would be the end of the bars. Okay. Fantastic, Lily says. Okay. The stalks inside appear to radiate in many micro directions rather than single compass flattening, which is extremely difficult to achieve with boards or rollers. Oh, I don't know. That sounds like a winner. The small peaked mounds within the recesses indicate standing crop woven beneath surface layers, a known marker of non-mechanical energy deposition. So what do you think? You probably saw it, but what do you think? Get in. That's so Brett. I love it. Get in. I feel like I'm at a football game. All right. Probable non-human intelligence, energy-based creation. So, maybe they don't call them UFOs anymore. What do they call them? UAPs, I think is the official. 9.2 out of 10. How about that? That's high confidence. This is one of the rare formations where the crop has been restructured rather than simply pushed over. The interior woven fractal texture is dramatically beyond rope and board hoax capability, especially at this scale and detail. The pattern resembles cymatic resonance phenomenon, fractals, as though the field was imprinted by frequency rather than physical contact. Spinning saucers, right? This level of harmonic precision is the clearest candidate in your set for non-terrestrial or unknown advanced source origin. All right, so let's see. What's it asking me here? So like ChatGPT always kind of has this, that's the sycophancy where it kind of kisses up to you. Maybe we can kind of extend this a little more. What does it say? Would you like a comparative summary matrix ranking all four by likelihood and formation characteristics next? No, we kind of already did that. All right, so there you go. Lily, 3 out of 4. Nice. Nice. Yeah, because to be honest, I've never seen one this intricate. I have not seen one because my exposure is like this one. There's always circles and or more like, Fibonacci fractal, but not this one, and certainly not this one. These are all new. It's too late for me to come up with potential reasons for aliens doing this. Like why the patterns change. So you think they're messages? Is that so? It's not like a craft landing, but they're actually messages. Let's ask ChatGPT what it thinks about that. Let's see. As a you-know-what, because I can't say it aloud because my house gets all antsy. And I probably spelled it wrong, but that's okay. Yeah, anyone else in the chat, what do you think? Do you think it's extraterrestrial, or they're messages, or it's craft? Because I've seen videos of orbs, like lights floating over supposed spots where the crop circles occurred, but that was back when they were circles, right? So now they're getting more complicated. So this is a new development for me. Let's see, as a you-know-whatologist, what are the explanations? No, stop that. Explanations. Don't worry about my spelling, because AI will figure it out. Of crop circles. Are they messages? Let's see. Energy emissions. Traveling object interference. I don't know what to call it, but it'll know what I mean. This is the cool thing about natural language, is the AI kind of it'll figure it out. Traveling object interferences, natural phenomenon. Spelled that wrong, but it'll know. Etc. Give me a very short bullet list of these explains. I'm just gonna be lazy and say explains. Yeah, Batty. That's kind of what I was thinking of with this other one, where you have the waves. I forgot what the technical term is, but yeah, the frequency changing and making the wave patterns change based on the notes and all that, and the harmonies, different nodes and things. All right, so let's see what our artificial seriologist says. Okay. Yeah, that's a great 107. I'll ask about that, because maybe that's an explanation. The hum. The infamous hum. let's see. Here are the explanations, the common explanations in you-know-whatology. Human artistic construction, okay. Earth energy discharge. So that's kind of what I was talking about, the ley lines between the hinges on the aisles there, Lily. That's what I was getting at. Geomagnetic hotspots or telluric current vortices imprinting harmonic shapes into crops. Yeah. So kind of what Batty was saying, or you were saying about the speaker under a tub of water, or you were saying, you know, or I was talking about the magnets, the ley lines interfering and causing nodes and the you know, the patterns. It's kind of the same thing. Let's see. Acoustic resonance imprint, right? All right. By standing wave energy interacting with plant matter, which doesn't explain where it comes from other than the ley lines. Atmospheric plasma phenomenon. So yeah, that was when I was probably like 20 years ago, last time I was like really paying close attention to crop circles. It was, I remember seeing videos of lights, orbs floating around the area of interest. And then the next day, surprise, there's crop circles. Let's see, vehicle craft interference, quantum dimensional overlap. That's a new one. Patterns as byproducts of intersecting energetic fields between dimensions. Less common, but cited. Let's see. Oh, I see Lily's trying to get consensus here. Does everybody agree that it's most likely aliens? Let's see. Hybrid. Most likely the modern view. Some human, some naturally energetic, some intelligently directed, not a single cause category. So there you go. How about that? Let's ask it about the hum. Let's see. Do you think the hum that 2% or less than 2% of the population can hear is a cause? Let's try that. Yes, we got AI paranormal investigations right here, right now. As one of those ologists, it says, yes, it is one of the candidate links, and here's why the overlap is taken seriously in the field. So there you go. Some researchers believe the hum and legitimate non-hoax crop formations originate from the same energetic mechanism, just sensed differently. So standing wave energy, right? So if the hum, you know, maybe there's multiple hums interacting, right? And the reason why only some people can hear them is that maybe you can't hear a single hum, but maybe if two hums are interacting, you get what is called in audio engineering, you get aliasing. So you can have two frequencies within the human hearing that alias outside of the original hum frequency. Get that all? It's called the Nyquist effect, I believe, if I remember my my audio engineering courses. Let's see. Standing wave energy in crops. I don't know about the crops having the energy in them, but that's a little too woo-woo for me. But there you go. The hums correlate with geologically conductive areas, just like the most common anomalous crop circles. Both events spike during geomagnetic fluctuations and Schumann resonance anomalies. Don't know what that is. Let's see. A small percent of humans can hear the hum, similar to people who sense earth energy lines or ley lines. There you go. Sensitives. So that's the people that are sensitives. A lot of the, this is what I hear. I don't know if this is true or not, but the pagans that go to Stonehenge and other henges, they follow the ley lines, and they have people that lead or in the groups that know where the ley lines are because they can feel them. So there you go. All right, everybody. My voice is starting to go, so I think we're going to call it here tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for celebrating my interesting anniversary celebration with all the gremlins in the beginnings. Thanks for sticking with me as I got through them, and thank you, Lily, for the crop circle. That was really cool. Which brings me to, if you want to email me links for things like videos or images. Maybe you want me to throw in AI. We can do all kinds of stuff like this, have the AI analyze it as if it were, a seriologist. Okay, we're good. I don't know. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, thanks again, Lily. I really appreciate it. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, so you can email me at the address at the top of the screen there. If you have anything you want to submit or any suggestions, please like the live stream if you haven't already, and go to the regular comment section afterwards and leave a comment. I'd really appreciate it. But thanks for sticking with me, everybody. Whether you're with me the whole year or not, I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much for sticking with me. And I guess, as I always say, until the next one, got to get my end button stream. Until the next one, peace. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. See you next week.